Her name was Sarai. Born beneath twin suns on the planet Kala Prime, she was once a healer, a gifted empath who could feel the wounds of others as though they were etched into her own skin. In a galaxy obsessed with conquest, she had been a rare anomaly, a woman of grace, peace, and patience. For a time, her gifts kept entire worlds from crumbling. Empires called her to mediate blood feuds, to still the rage of civil wars. Soldiers laid down their weapons at the touch of her hand. Sarai was mercy personified. But mercy is a currency with limits. And some never intended to repay it. Sarai had served the Galactic Accord for nearly 3 decades. She walked battlefields barefoot, her presence calming injured beasts and broken men alike. Her voice carried frequencies only the wounded could hear. When the war between the Sortan hegemony and the Talion Compact reached critical mass, it was Sarai who stepped between their dreadnoughts and whispered both fleets into disarmament. She did not belong to a nation or fleet. She belonged to the galaxy. And they all called her the White Flame. Not for fire, but for the light she brought in darkness. Her fame grew. She became legend. Monarchs sought her counsel. Generals pleaded for her presence. Her name was spoken with reverence, often with bowed heads and cautious breath. Even the most ruthless among the stars respected her, or so she thought. The world of Mavrax, 9 was a bleeding wound. Civil war had shredded its surface. Children with rifles. Cities in ashes. Refugees packed in grav trenches like cattle. Sarai came to offer what she always had, healing. But this time, she wasn't invited. She arrived against orders. Her staff, a crystal rod encoded with resonance frequencies, glowed softly in her grip. With every step, she soothed the madness. Rebels dropped their arms. Militants wept. Mothers found their lost sons. And then, they came for her. The Cural Syndicate, hidden puppeteers behind the conflict, feared peace. War made them rich. And Sarai, the pacifier, was a threat to their profit. They captured her under false negotiations. Drugged her. Bound her with suppressors that dampened her empathic abilities. And in the black chambers beneath their fortress, they began their work. She was mercy. And they wanted to break it. For 129 days, Sarai was kept alive and tormented. Not physically, that would have been too merciful. They wanted her will. They brought in the wounded and tortured them in front of her. They screamed for help, and she, muted by inhibitors, could do nothing. They showed her wars she had stopped, reignited. Peace undone. Suffering reborn. Her work unraveling like ashes in the wind. And worst of all, they forced her to feel it. Her gift, reversed. Every pain, every agony, fed back into her nervous system. 1,000 wounds. 1,000,000 cries. No rest. No silence. Until one day, she stopped crying. Not because she had no tears. Because she had none of herself left. When the Accord finally stormed the Cural stronghold, they found a silent chamber and no captors. Only bodies, twisted in terror, eyes burned black, mouths frozen mid-scream. And Sarai. She stood barefoot in the center, covered in blood not her own. Her white robes turned red. Her staff, shattered. Her eyes glowed not with light, but with void. The inhibitors were gone. But so was her mercy. Sarai didn't speak. She walked past her rescuers like a wraith. None dared stop her. When they examined the chamber logs, they found no signs of violence, no weapons used. Only one anomaly. A resonance field so strong it had torn the minds of every Cural operative from within. She hadn't touched them. She had felt them. And she had made them feel her. She no longer healed. She hunted. Every syndicate that profited from war found their warships dead in space. Every black site suddenly erupted into chaos, operatives screaming of memories that weren't theirs. Whole fleets surrendered when she arrived, terrified of the legend reborn. But it wasn't mercy anymore. It was wrath. The galaxy tried to understand. Was she a god now? A cursed relic? A survivor unbound? The Order of Solace, her former allies, tried to confront her, to bring her back from the edge. They begged her to stop to heal. She offered one response. I gave you peace. You paid me with screams. The Cural Syndicate was just the beginning. Sarai began a quiet purge of galactic war profiteers. Not through violence, that was too easy. She invaded their memories. Their dreams. She turned their own guilt into unrelenting madness. And always she left a mark, a single white flower, carved into metal, burnt into hulls, etched into minds. Some systems hailed her as a savior. Others called her a ghost of judgment. Mercenaries fled at rumors of her shadow. Weapon manufacturers shuttered overnight. The Galactic War economy, once the unstoppable beast of trade, collapsed within a decade. And Sarai watched. Not from thrones. Not from fleets. But from ruins. She slept beneath broken skies. She walked the ashes. She never returned to the Accord. She didn't belong among diplomats anymore. She belonged to the ones who had suffered. To those whose screams had gone unheard. In her final act, Sarai returned to Mavrax 9. The site of her unmaking. She found it empty. Burned. Forgotten. Not a soul lived there anymore. She knelt. For the first time in years, she sang. Not with vengeance. But with grief. A song for herself. For the girl who had once believed peace was enough. The stars dimmed to hear her. Planets paused. Even the wind fell silent. And when her song ended, she vanished. Not in fire. Not in rage. But like a whisper carried away by time. They built no statue. She wouldn't have wanted one. But in every peacekeeper's oath, her name is spoken. In every truce, a single white flower is planted. No empire dares profit from war without remembering her. Some believe she walks still, unseen. Others think she became one with the void. But one thing is certain. They took her mercy. And she remade the stars without it.